welcome back to Flying Solo with Kat. And today I'm really excited to talk about The Bad Batch, episode 10, 11, and 12. I am a couple episodes behind, as I said last week, so this is gonna be fun. Y'all probably know what happens, and it's gonna be really funny to see me get maybe a lot of theories wrong, but that's what makes it fun. And in this video, I'll go over each episode individually. I don't have an hour and a half to watch them all at the same time. So I just finished episode 10 and I'm going to talk about that one, then 11, and then, of course, 12. So sit back, relax, and hope you enjoy. First, I want to talk about the cute force sensitive child. I feel like all children in Star Wars are just the cutest thing. Even, the little Jabba the Hutt in like the official Clone Wars movie, I feel like he was a little cutie. They can't make ugly kids. They can't. I think it's, not humanly possible for the animators. And this like fur child was so cute. He was so cute and I loved him, and I immediately knew something bad was going to happen to him, and I was really sad. But overall, cute, foreign sensitive child, class 1 bounty hunter. I don't know if that's the first time we've heard class bounty hunters. I feel like they have said that, and I'm just blanking on it. But Cad Bane is a class 1 bounty hunter, so I wonder if that means that, does that mean he can only take on those bounties, or he gets sent those specific bounties, or just you kind of have different classes on where you range? I find that really interesting. The baby has a levitation prom. They definitely stole that from Baby Yoda, but I'm not too mad about that. It was not as cute as Grogu's, so overall I feel like it didn't really count as a levitation prom, but it was cute. I felt bad, but whatever. Hemlock and Emery, their relationship is very interesting because I still don't know his connection to Emery, and I don't know if we'll ever know his connection to Emery. Um, and the fact that she wants kind of to know a lot more than she's being led on to believe is really interesting, and I'm surprised Hemlock agreed to let her be like the chief scientist. That was really surprising, but I think because of Hemlock's connection to her, I know we don't know it right now as of episode 10, but I feel like there's something there that maybe he raised her as a child. That's all I can think of happening, but quite honestly, I'm not quite sure. Project Necromancer. Let's talk about this for a second, because I think I'm a bit confused, or just really mad that it's not what I thought. So I don't think it's Snoke. I think it leads to Snoke. But Project Necromancer is the captivity of force sensitive children and using their blood, the M count, to do a specific thing, or just to have their blood. And children are more susceptible. That's what Hemlock said. More agreeable in certain circumstances, and as well as just because the Emperor purged all of the Jedi, well, 99.9% of the Jedi, doesn't mean that like the Force is just going to go away, or M count is going to go away. There's still going to be children born that have it in their blood, even if their parents or their grandparents didn't have it. It's a generational thing. It can skip, but yeah, it's very important. So the fact that it's force sensitive children, that makes me question, why is Brendel Hux positioning Project Necromancer? And I think I have the answer to that. Is we think of just immediately, I think of Finn, the First Order, and Finn, how they were taking children away from their homes and putting them into these programs. And I wonder if that Project Necromancer, we're seeing the early stages of the project, and that they were only taking force sensitive children. But I think after the Empire fell, they were like, let's just keep the name Project Necromancer. But at the same time, we're going after children. Let's just keep the same name. But instead of Force-sensitive children, we're looking for more, we're looking for any children that we can get. So, and that was a big thing. And I think a lot of people are missing the bigger point of this, of that, the Empire and the First Order as well, and also the Jedi, let's not forget, took children because of their abilities and because they were more agreeable and susceptible and easier to obtain. And for the First Order especially, that was their whole Stormtrooper program. That was the whole point. And we haven't really seen that. Tales of the First Order. I mean, I'm just saying. But it needs to happen because I think people are missing the overarching point of, this is early Project Necromancer. And I wonder if the Project Necromancer that they're talking about in The Mandalorian is not even about Force-sensitive people, if it's just about them taking children from the Outer Rim, from the Mid-Rim, and then putting them into the Stormtrooper program. Or it could be Snoke. Or legitimately, Project Necromancer could be they're using their blood for Snoke, and then Project Necromancer in the Mandalorian era is literally kind of getting Snoke into the spotlight and positioning him to go after Ben Solo. So, yeah. It's interesting. We do not know a lot of what's going on. It's really exciting, but at the same time, but there's still so much we don't know. But I found that interesting, and I wanted to bring that up to just kind of get my thought process out about Project Necromancer and what all, this all means. And Omega, why she's important, which I don't know why I didn't get this, but because she's a clone and she has M count, she can clone the M count that these kids are giving their blood. Oh my god, that makes so much sense. Like that, I don't know why I didn't think of that, but literally they just need her blood so then they can duplicate the others because it has that clone cell in it. So I was like, oh, so all of that made sense together. And I was like, okay, that understands why they would make Omega, I guess not Force sensitive, but have M count in her blood. So it all came together and I was like, okay, I can live with that. Eva's the cutest. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry about these kids. They are just so sweet, especially her. It just makes me cry every time. Man, I hate the Empire. They suck. And I love that. I love when we get to see the Empire being evil. But man, when it comes to children, like, come on. Like, give them a break. Jax tries to escape, and that was really scary too. And it's just like their whole chant of like, we want to go home, we just want to go home is so sad, and really conveyed like, I don't know how long they've been there. We might get that next episode, but the desperation in them wanting to go home. And even Nala Se, told the kids like that they're gonna go home soon, but just didn't give them really a time. So them keep asking like, we just want to go home, when are we gonna go home? It's so freaking sad. And it was portrayed really well in this episode. I can already tell Emery is gonna let the children escape or do something about that. I do think it was a bit quick of a switch, but I'm even wondering maybe she's informing Omega about all of this stuff, or she's an informant for the rebels. There's something going on with her that I can't connect the dots yet, but she's either it either was a really quick switch or something's been building that maybe Hemlock did something that she's just kind of done, and this is the best way that she can get him. Nala Se stan. I will always be a Nala Se stan. She tried her best, I guess, with these kids. And she was more concerned about Omega because she was the main factor. And Emery kind of like gives it to her. She's like, oh, well, Omega was so important, but not these other kids. It's like, no, Omega actually is way more important than these other kids. I hate saying that, but realistically, when you think of it that way, that's all that matters. But Hemlock still trusts Emery. I'm interested to see how that is going to fall and be his downfall. I can't wait till he dies. I am waiting for Hemlock's death, and it will be a glorious day. Hemlock meets with Tarkin, and I found this exchange really, really interesting. Of Tarkin just coming in and saying, yeah, you were spending lots of money. And then Hemlock just pulls the whole Emperor, oh, well, he came and he said it was okay. And Tarkin was like surprised. He was like, well, can you tell me what's going on? And Hemlock was like, no, like, this is personal, classified. And Tarkin seemed like to honestly take that, which was weird. And he was like, well, if there's any way I can help you. It's like he wanted to get his own name in there to look good in the eyes of the Emperor, which is such the Empire. And I love that they're developing, like, Imperials this way. That's literally how Thrawn goes. I read the Thrawn novelization a couple months ago. That is exactly how it goes with all these Imperials trying to, get their name on something and to be important in the eyes of the Emperor and to know at what everything is going on. So I found this exchange really nice, and it was good to see Tarkin. Again, I'm never mad to see him. And then at the end, Emery gives Omega's toy to Ava, which I thought was so sweet. I was gonna cry again. And honestly, I think Emery is gonna break these kids out. I don't think they're gonna last much longer in there, which, as they should. I hope they personally kill Hemlock. That would be really dark, but I think they should. So that was episode 10. Absolutely loved it. I feel like after, people are gonna get mad I said this, but after the filler of Asajj Ventress, it was a little whiplash to get all of this lore in one episode, but I understand that it's the final season, so they kind of have to do that. But I wish it wasn't so much information at one time, but I'm excited for the next 2 episodes, which episode 11 I will talk about now. So episode 11, we start off with actually seeing Fee in the flesh, which was amazing to see her again. I was very thankful that she was actually coming back and she wasn't just going to be in a hologram. The green clone, I don't know what we're calling them, like special clones, I don't know. I'm calling them the green clones though, because some of them are snipers, some of them, I don't know, they got kind of the whole package. The green clone got info. I don't know, it seemed very stupid how, he got it. Of course, Fee, why wouldn't, I don't know. I just feel like she wasn't careful at all when, trying to refuel at certain places. But I guess how much can you do? You know what I mean? The ice cones need to be at Galaxy's Edge. If you don't remember from the episode, it was basically an ice cone, but Wrecker asked for it specifically. And basically it's like a snow cone, but I need it in Galaxy's Edge pronto. In Florida it'd probably melt in 2 seconds. In California it definitely would. So that's probably why they haven't brought it into it. But if they keep it under the right conditions, oh my gosh, that would be such a good little treat. So immediately when I thought that, I was like, Disney, come on. The tech goggles and the plushie of what Omega wanted to leave behind as the Bad Batch's legacy on Pabu, which was so, so, so sweet. And just, everything about it was amazing. The Marauder! No! We knew it was going to happen. Basically, what happened to the Razor Crest, the Marauder had the same type of fate. So I was very, very depressed about that. I knew something was going to happen. It was so early on into the episode of them wanting to leave Pabu. So I kind of knew it was going to come about. Wrecker is down. Oh my gosh. I almost got PTSD flashbacks from Tech, and I was like, not Wrecker, not this soon. The Republic ship over Pabu is such a cool visual that reminded me of the Ahsoka, the last episode with the Chimera up on top of kind of that Night Sister temple ridge. I can't remember the planet off the top of my head, but that's immediately what it reminded me of, and I just thought it was a really cool visual. The clone trooper visual of them invading Pabu is also really cool. Literally what my notes say. But for me, it was way more integral because we start to see these clone troopers morph into stormtroopers and see what the Empire is truly capable of and what they will do by any means necessary. How they just went in, they started basically ripping people out of their homes and, looking inside and without any consent or really anything. Even the mayor, says you have no jurisdiction, and they threaten him that they will, burn basically his city to the ground. And I loved this contrast, and especially Clone Force 99 seeing that and Omega seeing that, because I feel like we hadn't had a real Imperial presence besides the scientist, um, research center on Tantus, but having them kind of be out in the open, not just affecting Clone Force 99, was so amazing. The music on point as well through all of this is so tragic, and I thought the music for this episode was done really well. Omega basically sacrifices herself to go with them, which it's not smart, but I loved her talking with Crosshair, and we've seen Omega grown so much since the first episode of The Bad Batch, and for her to just kind of grow and realize that they're going to always keep chasing her and it's going to just be putting more people in danger. She might be able to fix all of this if she goes with them, and she chooses that. And I think it was interesting that Crosshair didn't fight her much on this. And he kind of knew that she needed to do this. This was her own mission that she had to go through. And I loved her interactions with Crosshair in that, because he so does not want to go back and does not want to, go and save her again from Tantus. They were lucky that they even got out. Not everyone has been as fortunate as we see in episode 12, but it was interesting that he just kind of let her go, and I liked that exchange between them. I was shocked when Crosshair missed. Like, what the hell? I think I was not expecting him to do that. I was expecting him to hit it or have something else hidden to track them, and that did not happen. And I was like, oh, wow. I was shocked. And when she's on the ship for a quick second, Omega actually tries to meditate. And I don't know if this is her trying to meditate and trying to tap into her M count, or if it's just her kind of sitting with her choices. I guess more to see, right? Because truly, if we see her, with episode 12, with spoilers, the kids, will she continue that path, or will she just try to help them escape and then try to get back to the Bad Batch? So episode 11 overall, really good. A lot of things happening, and a couple things were anticlimactic, but at the same time, the action is always so good in this show, and the visuals and the music are amazing. So overall, episode 11, really, really good. On to episode 12. Emery is tested by Omega. No, Omega's tested by Emery. Again, they meet up. Emery's definitely changed a bit. I mentioned this when I was talking about episode 10, but even in episode 12, we start to see her doubt basically everything that is going through. And I like that the writers are taking a bit of time for her to really sit with her actions and to sit with what she wants to do and what she doesn't want to do. Wrecker got mad at Crosshair that he let Omega go. Absolutely valid, but not enough drama with Hunter at all. I understand we just saw episode 11, right? But having episode 12, I wanted Hunter to be angry with Crosshair, not understand why she would want to give herself up, because he's more the father figure trying to protect her and protect the Clone Force 99. He already lost Tech, right? And Echo is somewhere that he doesn't know, but what can they truly do? So I feel like Wrecker being mad for 2 seconds and then Hunter just kind of moving on felt really off to me, and I did not like it whatsoever. I feel like there needed to be some a fight scene. I understand that, they have bigger problems to handle, but if I was in that situation, I would totally want to lash out at Crosshair. Even if I partly understood that Omega was probably going to do it anyway, I think we needed that with Hunter and Wrecker to be mad at Crosshair. I love Crosshair. I think, he has done nothing wrong, right? No, he has. But I needed something more from that. I just was not getting that from, honestly, in total, this episode. And I was a bit disappointed. Rampart knows where Tantus is. Rampart is alive. He definitely got the Rampart got the Captain Norrington treatment, if you don't know, Pirates of the Caribbean. So I guess he's, working in an Imperial labor camp, which is not great, but I mean, good for him because I hate him. So I do love when Star Wars brings back these characters and it's like, haha, no, they're alive, but they're suffering. And, then that they have suffered, and then you start to be like, okay, what does this character actually have to offer? So I loved that, of course, he got the Norrington treatment. Crosshair has PTSD of Tantus. He literally didn't tell, Hunter or Wrecker or even Omega that he knew that someone who knew where Tantus was, that he knew Rampart, who was such a big kind of threat in season, I guess, 1 and 2. I don't know if it's just 2, but I think 1 and 2. And the fact that Crosshair knew this, and Hunter was like, why would you keep this from us? It doesn't make any sense. But Crosshair explaining that basically as PTSD, he wouldn't ever want to go back there. And then Hunter kind of drops it, which I think is okay, because quite honestly, don't push Hunter or Wrecker or Crosshair into that situation of talking about trauma, but I needed it. I needed it so bad for them to talk about it, and I feel like I'm, with these last episodes, knowing that the end is so near, I feel like I'm missing significant dialogue between these characters. I don't know why I'm getting so hypercritical of the Bad Batch, but I think this episode, specifically because episode 11 was so good and had such strong high points, that episode 12, I feel like they're really rushing kind of exposition and kind of character development, of just, we got to get Omega back and then we're done. So I think just knowing the season's closing to an end has me a lot more on edge of, we need so many answers solved right now. We need so many relationships mended and talked about, that I feel like I don't know if we have enough time to get to it. Tech told Fee about Crosshair. Fee says, oh, you must be Crosshair. Tech told me so much about you. I almost cried. I was like, oh my gosh, the true couple. And so Fee brought that up, and like Crosshair's little like emotions that cross his face is like surprised and like heartfelt and sad. I was like, oh my gosh. So that was sweet. I was totally getting Mando flashbacks with the Imperial labor camp and the turbo truck. Major flashbacks. I honestly was really, really close to going back and watching Mando season 2. And then it got me thinking I should really talk about Mandalorian and my thoughts on it. So video coming soon. But that scene really reminded me of Mando season 2. Lots of action, lots and lots of action. I really don't have much to say on it. Just, it's always done amazing, and like I said, I felt like I was watching Mandalorian. Rampart says no one actually knows where Tantus is, of course. And it looks like Rampart will be sticking with them, so they might be hacking like an Imperial code base to where they actually get the coordinates. And I feel like Rex, Echo, a whole bunch of people are going to, jump on that base, get all the escaped clones out, or all of the trapped oh my god. Get all of the trapped clones out and safe, and get Omega out there as well. Omega, we didn't see much from her this episode, but she was taken down to the vault and she got to meet the kids, and Omega's freaking scared, man. I mean, she normally doesn't really get scared. She's kind of defiant, But when those doors like shut and it was just like that stark white room, like you could tell she was like actually terrified of what they were doing. So I do think Omega's gonna band with the kids and tell them like, you have a life, you have a purpose, and try to like, I guess, go against what they've been taught. And I do think that, especially with um the kid, Jax, that she will kind of help him as well, as Eva, and then I believe there's the other girl, and I do think that they're gonna combine like their force sensitivity. And I, like I said, I want like young Jedi adventures, like boom, and then yeah, I don't know. Omega makes friends super easily, so I'm not too concerned that she's gonna really struggle with the kids. It's more of like what Hemlock, Emery, and the rest of the Empire is like doing to her. So overall, this episode was good. I know I kind of complained in the beginning of episode 12, but I'm so sad it's ending so soon. I kind of get to this point. It's really funny because it's only with Bad Batch, I feel like. But I get to this point in the middle of the season to where I just kind of lose my interest for Bad Batch. And I'm still in love with the characters, and it's one of my character flaws, I guess, as just watching media every single week, is that I get a tiny bit tired of it and I like talking about other things. So I know that it's kind of weird for me to do 3 episodes in this one big episode, but at the same time, I'm trying to, keep myself on track of not forgetting just about the Bad Batch and not finishing it out with my thoughts because, it is the final season and it is very important to talk about it and to go over what comes next for Star Wars animation besides Tales of the Empire, but, for, I guess, Clone Wars. So, anyway, guys, let me know what you thought of these 3 episodes, what you think will happen next, and I don't know if you're sad or happy or what are your emotions for Bad Batch ending, because I've heard kind of mixed things, so I want to hear what you guys think. So, anyway, thank you all for listening, and I will see you